Hey guys, Hemivertible here. We're back at it again on the 69 Charger. I left off last time. We went ahead and threw the new water pump on, the fan pulley, fan clutch. We put some new belts on, had everything on the front end there ready to go to throw a radiator in there. And like I said, I had sent my matching numbers radiator out to Glen Ray Radiators out, I think it's Wausau, Wisconsin or something like that. And they're like 4 months behind. You send anything away to get rebuilt, it takes forever. But they did a great job on my radiator for my convertible here. I was going to just show you that real quick to see what a nice job they do. I'm really excited to get my stock radiator back and throw that in the Charger. But in the meantime, I had a Griffith aluminum crossflow radiator laying around from my 71, because my 71 I put a nicer 3-row radiator in that aluminum race radiator, so to speak. And so I took the old crossflow out and I had it in the shed for a couple of years. Hopefully it doesn't leak. I don't think it does. It's been just sitting in there with no problem. It got getting beaten around or anything like that, so we should be in good shape. But I went ahead and I made some brackets for it to bolt to the valance, a couple valance bolts on the bottom, so I didn't have to drill any holes in the car. I don't want to chop anything up. And then up top in the radiator core support, there's some already some holes drilled in there for I guess for wire clips or something like that, and I utilized those holes to make a bracket across the top. And I bought some flex hose type connectors for the radiator hose that we looked at last time as well. So let's go ahead and take a peek at this stuff, and I'll talk about it a little bit and show you what I did. And maybe you need to do the same thing at some point in time. It's always nice to bounce ideas off of other guys, see what people are doing. So here's the Glen Ray that I got for my convertible, my 70 Challenger convertible. And like I said before, I think I had mentioned that I had put the same, thermostatic clutch fan in this baby. Got the this only has the small block. It's got the 5-bladed fan on it, and it's got this the stock shroud on it, which is nice. When you get a factory radiator, you get to put the factory shroud on. It really helps things turn out nice. So that's all good and well. It's got the numbers on there. This is the original radiator that came with this car. Now it was a small block 318 car, but I had Glen Ray bump it up to a 3-core instead of the 2-core. And it was air conditioned and all that good stuff, but we don't have any of that on there. But there's the old 408 stroker with the trick flow heads. So that baby rolls out. I'm gonna put a video out of a bunch of pictures and stuff from my build on this car. I just want to get like a list of everything that I put in it, so when I'm talking on the video I can share with you guys what all I did in the build. It'd be interesting to see what everybody else would do with their small block, or what you have done with your small block stroker, to get as much horsepower out of it as you possibly can and keep it kind of docile. That was my my effort on this car, was to not have it all super radical and rowdy and all that, but have a nice little lope to the cam, but still run it up to about 500 horsepower. So over here, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here's the aluminum radiator. I went ahead and I had some tough times getting some stuff in here. I was going to mock it up, take it apart, and then put it together for you on video, but it was so tough to get together, I was not going to pull it apart. It was pretty tight down in there. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot of room, but I think we're going to be okay, just for a temporary fix. When I get the other radiator in, like I said, I think I'm going to have to go with the little shorty thermostatic clutch housing. I got the standard length, but that makes me nervous. And when we get the stock radiator in there, I have a shroud that we're going to put on there. But this crossflow radiator, man, this thing, it cools really nicely. I don't think I'll have any problem cooling this 375 stock horsepower motor with that. I had that on my 500 horsepower 71 Challenger, so never had any problems with that thing overheating, so I'm pretty sure it's going to do well. But what I did here, I went ahead and just made a bracket for the bottom. You utilized the valance bolts And you can see I kind of took the bracket out and I bent it down. It went down about 3/4 of an inch, and then I bent it over and I U-shaped it on the front. So it's like a little flat channel for the bottom of the radiator sit in. And you can see down there, right where it kind of sits, you see the difference in color. It's a galvanized, basically 18 gauge galvanized plate with a U channel on the bottom of it. And it's just setting in there. I don't have it screwed or bolted to the radiator or anything, but it's in there pretty tight. And then up top here, we just did like a little Z bracket right on top, and then just bends over the end. Now what I'm gonna do is probably drill a couple pilot holes like right here and on the other side, and I'm gonna run some self-tapping screws through that 1/2 inch flange that's on top of the radiator there. And that'll make sure it doesn't move or shift or fall forward and put us in jeopardy on that fan and the clutch. It'll be in there super tight. Right now that sucker, it's in there really tight because I had this so that it would pull it back, and we put these 2 bolts in the front. I had pre-drilled holes in there to get this in. And for the most part, you know, these openings, all this stuff is in the front of the core of the radiator support already, so I didn't have to chop anything up to do that. Now, it's nice that this crossflow, pretty cool, it fits in there pretty tight. You know, we got little openings on each side. You get some air through there, but like I said, this thing, it just cools so much, you know. It just, it's overkill really for this engine. But, you know, that's what you want. You want to overcool in the cooling system. You don't overkill in the cooling system. You don't want anything to be, you know, borderline, so to speak. And if you get in a really hot day and you get stuck in traffic or something like that, you don't want to end up overheating and wishing you had went ahead and done something better. But so anyway, we went ahead and put the last time we had the wrong thermostat. We had a wrong Edelbrock for it, and I ended up filing a Mr. Gasket, I do believe it is a Mr. Gasket 180 degree thermostat, high flow. We put that in there, got that all bolted in. We put a little bit of gasket seal on that baby and cranked her down, so she's good to go. I tell you, the toughest part that I had with this was, you know, I have these corrugated or flexible radiator hoses that I utilized, and for whatever reason, this radiator, the bottom outlet or connection was angled upward. You can't really see it in this picture, but it points up, so it really made it tough to get that flex hose. It kind of come up and back down, and it goes down underneath the radiator, and it comes over there and ties into the water pump down there, and it's just really tight. So I had to fight that thing in there. Once I got it in there, I mocked it up. I was like, you know what, I'm not taking that thing out and trying it again. So I went ahead and bolted that thing on there and left everything on there nice and tight. And so it'll hold water now, but the only thing I got to do is I'm gonna go ahead and mock this up real quick while we're watching. Put this big old flexible hose on here like that, and then we're just gonna spin it around. We'll put it right on the front of the radiator. It's just like that, and there you go. Voila! We got a radiator hose, a temporary fix, so that we can run around and do things if we need be. We just want to have it mobile, so while I'm waiting 4 months for a radiator, I can take it to the shop or take it out and run around test drives. And you know, I'm going to put brake lines and fuel lines and do a bunch of other stuff over the next 4 months, trying to make it roadworthy and safe to drive. I don't want to be out car show or out enjoying the day anywhere and then have my car break a brake line or bust something loose and start pissing fluid all over the place, and then you got to get it towed home or whatever. Just much cheaper to have it running good when you're you know, in here in the garage cleaning things up. The other thing I did I don't know if I'd shown anybody before, but I pulled the valve cover on this side because it had a big dent in the top of it, and I'm going to take it off and take it to the shop and try to get it beat back straight a little bit. But you know, we looked in here and looked like everything was pretty clean. I was really surprised. You know, it looks like somebody's been in there before because you got orange paint on the rockers and the shaft and stuff like that. So it looks like somebody decided they wanted to paint the intake before they put the covers on, but it doesn't matter. A little bit of paint in there as long as it's not flaking off and getting around everywhere. And I did do a oil change when I first got it, and that little bit of ride that I took, oil picked up a bunch of stuff, so I think it just kind of got a little cruddy and dirty inside of there from sitting for 27 years or whatever. Who knows when the oil was changed last, but we got that all swapped out, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna probably take it for maybe another ride or two, and I'll go ahead and dump that oil again and try to make sure that we have some clean oil in there and the engine's nice and clean and I don't have a bunch of stuff floating around. I put one of those magnetic plugs, oil pan plug in there, so hopefully we'll get a look at that when we pull that out. I have to run it a little bit and see if there's any metal floating around. I don't think there is. It doesn't look like there is, but we'll see. So, but that's where we are at this point. I'm going to get that hose clamped on there. We'll throw some water in there. I'll get that valve cover back on, and I'll fire this baby up again and try to get her out of the garage. Sun's shining. A little cold outside, but you know, ain't bad enough that we can't go out for a cruise and do a test drive and see how everything's going. And we'll move on to the next fix, doing the old preservation of the 69 Dodge Charger. Man, this is cool. It's going to be a lot of fun when we get it running again. I'll have to do another test drive video and talk about how all of our fixes are moving us along. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you did, once again, let's give us a like and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a great week.